On the 21st of June 1978, the musical Evita premieres at the Prince Edward Theatre in London. The music of composer Andrew Lloyd Webber contributed to the success, but it was the story of the main character that made the musical a worldwide success. Eva Perón, later known as Evita, went from living in the poor countryside to the presidential palace. She became the second wife of Argentine dictator Juan Peron and an idol to millions of ordinary people. As the country's first lady, she dedicated herself to charity, building schools and hospitals. She also fought for women's voting rights. But as much as she was loved by some, she was hated by others. To them, she was a schemer for whom power and self-interest were the most important things in life. This black and white perception of Eva Perón is still a part of her story today. But whichever view you prefer, one thing is certain. Evita is not only one of the most important figures in the history of Argentina, but also one of the women who significantly influenced the course of events in the 20th century. She was born María Eva Ibarguren on May 7, 1919 in the village of Los Toldos, to a poor seamstress and a rich landlord. But he died when Eva was 6 years old. Eva's mother Juana and her 5 children were left completely penniless. When Eva grew up, she knew one thing. She didn't want to live in poverty. She wanted to be an actress, living in the big city. She took the first step towards her dream when she was 15. Popular singer Agustin Magaldi had a concert in her town. It was then that the young Eva first made use of her femininity. Magaldi was so enchanted by her that he returned to the capital Buenos Aires with her. But it didn't last. When Magaldi was unable to offer her anything new, she found a replacement, and this went on and on. A succession of powerful men came and went, making Eva increasingly popular. She got roles in the theater, radio, and film. By the time she appeared on the cover of Sintonia magazine in October 1939, the whole country knew her. But the turning point in her life did not come until January 1944. At a charity event she organized, she met Juan Domingo Peron. The 50-year-old Minister of War is a widower, and he's completely smitten with Eva, who's 25 years younger than him. It's not clear if Eva planned this meeting or if it happened by chance, but either way, she scores again. A few days later, she moves into the minister's apartment. Thanks to Peron's influence, Eva is gaining more important roles. For the film The Circus Cavalcade, she has to dye her hair blonde. She likes the blonde so much she sticks to it for the rest of her life. And Peron is happy too. Thanks to Eva, his popularity among the people continues to grow. So much so that the junta is afraid of his influence. So on October 12, 1945, by order of the president, generals arrest and intern him on the small island of Martin Garcia near Buenos Aires. Eva uses her immense popularity to free Juan. In a single week, she assembles her influential friends and a crowd of her and Peron's supporters. Hundreds of thousands of so-called descamisados, meaning shirtless people, will demonstrate in front of the Argentine president's residence on the 17th of October, 1945. Eva takes a stand in front of the crowd. With her fiery speech and her devotion to her partner, she completely captivates the Argentines.
Que la historia seguramente dedicará a Perón, que hubo al lado de Perón una mujer que se dedicó a llevarle al presidente las esperanzas del pueblo que luego Perón convertía en hermosas realidades.
That's when Evita is born. The junta has no choice but to release the colonel, and soon after, on the 22nd of October 1945, Juan Peron marries Eva. 4 months later, thanks to the popularity gained during the presidential election, Evita becomes the First Lady of Argentina and the darling of the people in the country. She never forgot her background. She set up the Eva Perón Foundation to help those in need. She created a healthcare system for children and the poor, and regularly sent a train with medical equipment that went across the country, so that people in the most remote areas could get treatment. Her foundation provided housing grants or scholarships. She played an important role in giving women in Argentina the right to vote. But that was only one side of Evita. Her critics saw her as a vain woman who cared for the poor only in the public eye. They pointed out that she herself led a lavish life, financed by public money, and that she was all too happy to show off her expensive clothes and jewelry. The funding of her foundation also aroused opposition. The various ministries had to transfer surpluses from their management to her account. But her husband had the power to silence any criticism. In return, Evita supported his regime wholeheartedly, both at home and abroad. In 1947, Evita embarked on a trip to Europe. Reluctant to support the Allies during World War II, Argentina maintained diplomatic relations with Germany. Argentine soldiers admired Italian fascism, and Evita's European tour is about to erase that shadow of the past. The tour is to be an advertisement for the new Argentina. At first, it looks like a success. Evita meets Charles de Gaulle at Versailles, is received by Pope Pius XII at the Vatican, shakes hands with Franco in Spain. But after being booed by the communists in Italy, a turning point occurs. In Switzerland, someone rams her car, and the British king refuses to meet her. What's more, critics of Peron are again vocal, claiming that the main purpose of the trip was to add fake Argentine passports to Nazis fleeing to Latin America, and to deposit a considerable amount of money in European, especially Swiss banks. Although the journey, which looked so promising at the beginning, ends in disaster, it does not threaten Evita's popularity in Argentina. On the contrary, in 1951, there is even speculation about her running for vice president. But it never happens. Eva Perón is battling cancer, which she has long ignored. Although she eventually undergoes a complex operation and is treated by the best doctors, it's clear that she only has months to live. In the presidential election in the spring of 1951, Evita votes for her husband from her hospital bed. Although she attends his inauguration in person, she is so weak that she can only stand with support. It is her last public appearance. On July 26, 1952, the radio announces a message that will make millions of Argentines cry. Their Evita has died. The funeral takes place a day later. The procession that marches through downtown Buenos Aires is unparalleled in the country's history. 2 million people came to say goodbye to Evita. Argentines are buying up florists all over the country. There is even a shortage of flowers in neighboring Chile. It's the last honor to a woman from the same miserable conditions as are many of them. A woman who was so beautiful and left so young. A woman whose extraordinary story would be retold later by the famous Andrew Lloyd Webber in one of the world's most famous musicals.